Polestar 3 SUV on a budget or not? The race to carbon neutrality has been brought to a whole new level. Among a burgeoning array of electric SUV choices, Gothenburg's brightest are gearing up to unleash the long-awaited Polestar 3 on a climate-conscious clientele. We've got all the information about it. What will it be bringing new to the table? Is it a conspicuously priced SUV? Let's get all the answers in the video and, most importantly, see whether it's a car for you if you are on a budget. Starting off, let's get a brief overview of what the car brings. Polestar's growth rate has greatly exceeded the industry in recent months, despite the fact that part of this may be attributed to the fact that it only marketed the pricey Polestar 1 for a limited time. The Polestar 2 sedan propelled the EV manufacturer into the mainstream, and the impeding Polestar 3 SUV will aid the company in meeting its aim of doubling sales by 2025 compared to 2021. With prices to compete with the Audi e-tron and BMW iX, the Polestar 3 will have to do a lot of things right to entice people away from these renowned brands. However, it seems to have the range, premium aesthetic appeal, and technology to cause some havoc in the industry. Starting off, let's see how the car has been designed and the interior. Do you think it keeps up? Polestar says that the 3 will define the aesthetic of SUVs in the electric era. True to their words, they may have a point based on what we've seen so far. Despite Polestar's assertion that the Precept concept is the foundation of the Polestar 5, its resemblance to the Polestar 3 is apparent. The Polestar 3 seems sharper, sportier, and considerably more eccentric than its corporate cousin, the Volvo XC90, based on the photographs released. Only time will tell whether it can outperform the Model X in terms of appearance, but it's wonderful to have a choice. Moving to the interior, we have not much to talk about since Polestar 3's interior has been kept pretty much in the dark. However, we may turn to the Precept and the new Volvo Concept Recharge for hints as to what could be on offer. We undoubtedly anticipate a return of the 15-inch tablet screen, paired with Google's Android Automotive operating system. One thing we know for sure is that NVIDIA's computing platform will be there. While the system is mainly included to power the autonomous driving capabilities, Polestar may use the hardware for other purposes in the future. The infotainment system is one of the Polestar 3's most notable features. Why is that? The Polestar 3 will include an infotainment system powered by Android Automotive OS. Unfortunately, this won't come as good news to some of the iOS users since, as you've heard, the system will only be powered by Android Automotive OS. Customers, especially those used to Android devices like smartphones, tablets, and smart TVs, will find using onboard functions through the vehicle's central screen exceedingly simple and familiar, if not enjoyable. Customers may use Google Maps, Spotify, Audible, and Google Podcasts while on the road by downloading programs from the Google Play Store. Google Assistant users may use voice commands using the typical prompt phrase, "Hey Google." Next, let's take a look at the next part of today's video segment, Polestar 3's dimensions. What does it pack? The Polestar 3 will share the SPA2 Scalable Product Architecture chassis with Volvo's future flagship SUV. Although the Polestar 3's dimensions are unknown, it will likely be a mid-size SUV since it will share its foundations with the Volvo XC90's electric replacement. We anticipate that its length, breadth, and height will be comparable. The current XC90 is about 195 inches long, 84.3 inches wide, and 69.9 inches in height. However, Polestar has defined that the 2023 3 SUV as a huge luxury EV, so it might be considerably larger and heavier than the estimates below imply. The Polestar 2 car weighs 4,650 pounds, whereas the Volvo XC90 Recharge is roughly 5,100 pounds. It is anticipated that the Polestar 3 will be significantly heavier. Next, let's look at the performance bit of the Polestar 3. The Polestar 3 will have a decent WLTP range of 372 miles, with the 78 kilowatt-hour batteries that power the twin-motor Polestar 2 delivering a decent real-world range of 245 miles, the BMW iX delivering a claimed 257 miles, and Tesla's Model X delivering a stunning 348 miles, 310 miles of alleged range, if accurate, is ambitious yet extremely attainable. While we don't have any specifics on the Polestar 3, the Polestar 2 can charge from 0 to 80% in 40 minutes using a 120 kilowatt quick charging station, according to Polestar. Let's hope for an increase in maximum charging speed, mainly because many new vehicles can manage the power of up to 350 kilowatts. The Polestar 3 is expected to include dual and single-motor powertrains, with the former giving all-wheel drive. Though nothing concrete has been disclosed, a 0 to 60 mph pace in the 4 to 5 second range is required if the Polestar 3 is to compete with its closest performing competitors. Because the Polestar 3 is larger and heavier than its crossover predecessor, the new EV's battery packs may need to be closer to Tesla's 100 kWh to transfer all that weight. They have a good chance of succeeding, however. Before we can look at the next part of the video, if you are enjoying the video, give it a thumbs up. Give the channel a sub and turn on the post notification bell as well. With that done, let's go ahead and see all about the price. Polestar is keeping its upcoming SUV under wraps with just a few hints. However, the car's global premiere has been announced for October 2022, which is when we'll most likely learn all there is to know. While not officially announced, the Polestar 3 is expected to begin production this year with the Volvo XC90, with both vehicles expected to be available in Q1 2023. When it comes to the price of the Polestar 3, the information is yet to be disclosed. However, this does not mean we are done and dusted. The Polestar 2 begins at $45,900, which isn't a terribly helpful statistic. The Polestar 3 will be bigger, which implies it will be more costly. However, this is not assured, particularly since the car maker has said that assembly in the United States would help keep costs low. On the other hand, Polestar will have to equal or undercut the competition if it wants to remain competitive. Tesla is the major one, but it should be easy to lower the Model X's $104,990 pricing. Although the Model Y starts at $58,990, it's not a fair comparison since it's a crossover rather than a full-fledged SUV. Other noteworthy SUV rivals include the $69,990 Jaguar I-Pace, the $83,200 BMW iX, and the $43,895 Mustang Mach-E. It's realistic to assume the Polestar 3 to be in that price bracket, but we won't know for sure until the car maker makes an official announcement. The Polestar 3 will be released on October 3rd, the same day that orders for the battery electric SUV that has been pitted against the Porsche Cayenne. According to Polestar CEO Thomas Ingenlath's statement at the Automotive News Europe Congress, the comparisons were true. He said that his company's first SUV would cost between €75,000 and €110,000. Because the euro and the US dollar are almost equal, costs in dollars will most likely be comparable, less than 18% VAT tax on European autos. This translates to a range of around $62,250 to approximately $93,200. The Porsche Cayenne begins at $73,650, while the Cayenne S starts at $92,350. This implies that like the Cayenne and the Polestar 3 will be dimensionally between the Tesla Model Y and Model X, but far less expensive. The Model Y performance is 7 inches shorter and begins at $69,990, while the Model X in dual-motor AWD specification is 5 inches longer and starts at $120,990. Much is still unknown about the Polestar 3, but we do know it will feature a 2-motor engine like its predecessor Polestar 2, as well as many more features. The $53,300 Polestar 2 liftback car with 2 motors has a baseline output of 408 horsepower and 487 pound-feet of torque, reaching 60 miles per hour in 4.6 seconds. For purchasers who choose the Performance Pack, those stats may be increased to 476 horsepower and 502 pounds-force-foot, with a 60 miles per hour sprint time of 4.2 seconds. Polestar will likely double its attack on the Germans next year, with the Porsche Macan rivaling Polestar 4. Polestar has been quietly studying, creating, and planning a significant expansion for this year and beyond since its modest beginnings in the EV industry in 2017. After exceeding its objective of 29,000 worldwide sales in 2021, the rapidly growing firm hopes to sell 10 times as much by 2025. How? By introducing a new automobile every year for the next 3 years and expanding into at least 30 worldwide markets by 2023, the company hopes to gain a competitive advantage. The newest chapter in this ambitious underdog narrative begins with the Polestar 3, a performance EV produced in America for Americans. Take notice, competitors. Polestar has taken off from Volvo's nest and is heading straight for you. Well, what do you think? Is the new Polestar 3 worth the price tag? Despite being priced lower than the flagship models from other automakers like Tesla, do you think it offers more for its price tag? Let's keep the conversation going in the comments section. That's all we had in store for you. Thanks a lot for watching the video. Until the next one, peace out.